going into the San Juans with more than 400% of average snowpack.
I'm really zoomed in. This is it. So wait,
This is it.
Over there and then camping?
We walked 700 miles to get here.
That's accurate. This was it. I had been obsessing about the San Juans for weeks, and they had taken up the bulk of my research and planning before hitting the trail. To say I was nervous would be an understatement, but I was also excited. I knew there would be scary moments, but I was hoping I could rise to the challenge and expand my comfort zone in the process. Well, first navigational decision of the day was not a fantastic one, but I guess it'll work out. We were trying to avoid this traverse along the side of this thing, so we did a ridge walk instead, and it's fine, but the ridge walk has snow too, and you could have just walked flat down there, so I guess going up on the ridge is not always the best way. Navigation would be an ongoing struggle, since we'd rarely actually be following a trail. But the fact that this section was going to be a challenge didn't mean it would be any less fun, especially not with a group of 7. Oh no! Wow, it got hot. First time camping on snow for most of us, I think, if not all of us. We're camped right next to this lake that's covered in snow. Today was mostly snow cover. Sometimes we were able to get away from the snow by taking ridges and stuff like that and looking for dry patches. Overall, a very hard day. It was only 19 miles, but it felt like a lot more than that. The post-holing is exhausting. It makes you feel like you've climbed like 10 feet with every step. Overall, pretty good day, learning experience, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. We started that day with the intention of taking an alternate valley route for a few miles, thinking it would be easier and safer than staying in the Alpine. This proved not to be the case at all, as we traversed along the sides of riverbeds choked by snow, where a slip could send you right into the water, where you'd be trapped under the snow bridge. The biggest obstacle came when we reached a wider valley and a river we could not cross. At this point, the 3 newest members of the group decided to follow the valley east to the nearest town, and we were back to our original 4. We have literally been walking along this river for miles looking for a place to ford, and finally just made it across. We found a decent spot. Extremely frustrating. Woo! We'll bleep that one out.
Oh my god. God. Oh, I don't care how far I am.
You guys got it. Power through, you're almost there.
Okay.
I should go give him a hand. Once we finally crossed the river, morale was low. The river crossing was not the only close call we had had that day, and we were now 6 miles from the CDT, no short distance under those conditions. We discussed bailing ourselves, but ultimately chose to hike back to the CDT. This turned out to be an excellent decision. This is the most beautiful place I've ever filled up water from a trip. Look at this. Can you believe this? This is the most epic place I've ever been. So a pretty crazy day today, and right now we're camped up on a plateau over 12,000 feet, so we didn't have to camp in a valley in avalanche terrain. Crazy views, lots of snow, crazy river crossing, lots of cross-country travel. Pretty nuts, but yeah, it was great. Probably the most adventurous day that I've ever had on trail. Hopefully the wind dies down. We started hiking as the sun was rising, and I could not believe the colors I was seeing. A beautiful mix of blue and orange and purple painted on the snow. The views were incredible throughout the morning. I felt like I had never been so close to such massive mountains. We soon came to the first mountaineering moment of the day, a scary steep descent down from the ridge to a pass.
Oh my god, yes! This looks so fun. It looks like a little, like, I don't know, like, boat with the pedals, you know?
Yeah. I want to walk it from there.
Hell yeah!
A few people glissaded down that. It's really steep at the top. I was kind of scared to do that, so I climbed down with my crampons.
Oh yeah, nice.
Went along the edge there and then all the way down and then over here. Kind of crazy. Never thought I'd be doing stuff like this. But here we are.
We picked a pretty good spot to go down.
I can't imagine being the first person over this or coming over after a snowfall and like no
I wouldn't.
tracks at all.
I just wouldn't.
It's just like
Well, if you're the first person over, you probably like know what you're doing.
I hope so.
I'd hope so.
but like it could have snowed last night and there wouldn't be tracks.
Can't believe we just walked through that. So this is what the worst case postal it looks like. Later that day, we met up with the other three at a point where our routes converged. I honestly have no idea how we managed to line that up. morning from the CDT. Less than 10 miles now from Pagosa Springs, or from Wolf Creek Pass, where we'll hitch into Pagosa Springs, and we got some spicy little traversing to do this morning across that slope. We'll see how it goes. Doesn't look too steep. As it turned out, the day would be filled with spicy traverses. Traversing a slope is pretty much the worst way to move through snowy terrain, as you're never really in a stable position. We tried to get up on the ridge whenever possible, but sometimes you don't have a choice. So up this way you can see sort of our route that we went today. Down in that valley across there, then up across that, which is pretty sketchy, and then up in there, and then some other stuff. Yeah, looking forward to getting to town.